So you're a business owner or entrepreneur. You have the money, you have the family, you have the cars, you have the house, you have the business, you have the life, right? You're living the American dream. But you find yourself in situations that are not favorable, okay? And so you're probably following a lot of therapists and coaches and doctors, maybe even gone to doctors, thinking maybe it's ADHD, maybe it's bipolar, maybe it's depression, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's the fucking story that you're telling yourself. Because whatever you believe to be true will be true for you. That's it. I'm a psychotherapist turned executive coach, and I'm gonna tell you right now, whenever I gave a client, this is before when I used to work in nonprofit, and you learn this. You learn this in grad school. You learn this in your program. This isn't new. This isn't new information. When you give someone a label, guess what happens? They start acting according to that label, even if it doesn't even pertain to them. There have been so many studies and experiments around this. Like, you tell someone that they're stupid and you keep telling them over and over and over again, guess what's going to happen? They're going to start thinking that they're stupid. They're going to start acting like it because it gets in there, right? Whatever story you are choosing to believe about yourself is going to be true. As so many clients tell me, I think I am this, I think I am that, I think I'm this. And so one of my questions that I would ask is, how will knowing that help you? What will that do for you? And usually, I would have to say the percentage is really big, like 99%. It would give them a permission slip to just be themselves. Just be themselves. So why don't you just be yourself anyway? Right? People that have a lot of energy just have a lot of freaking energy. People that don't have a lot of energy, they just don't have a lot of energy. And I don't believe in this like ADD, ADHD stuff, because when you really want to pay attention, you're gonna pay attention. And children are just like that. Like, we weren't made to pay attention in that way anyway. It's just, that's not how human beings were made. It's not the purpose. What I do want to say is, because, you know, people like to follow like all of these like medical professionals, and they know everyone is coming from their own perspective. Everyone is coming from their own set of beliefs and their own background that works for them. That story works for them. That's one thing that my grad school did. I don't know if they did this on purpose, and I don't know if everyone learned this, but I did. And even when I was in undergrad, we had to pay attention to not only the research, but where the research was coming from and who was involved in the research, like every single little detail. Because let's just say, for example, I don't know, I'm gonna make up a name, one that's known, right? Johnson & Johnson. They want to tell you that their Q-tips are the best, right? And they want to put out a study to compare other Q-tips. Now, if they are funding the whole thing, and it's not like a double-blind study where like nobody knows where the money's coming from, nobody knows anything, nobody knows even like that's Johnson & Johnson's type of Q-tips or anything. It's all like completely anonymous, and people are rating completely anonymously and things like that. Johnson & Johnson is gonna have a hand in that. in some way, shape, or form. Or someone is gonna think like, oh, Johnson & Johnson, well, they're already a trusted brand. I'm just gonna lean toward more to say yes to this because I already know that that brand is more reputable. Business owners and entrepreneurs, they get what I'm talking about. And just to be clear, I'm talking to the people that don't have a problem making money. I'm not talking to those people. If you have a problem making money, this video is not for you. This is not for you. I'm talking to the people that don't have a problem making money. They make money in their sleep and they feel like something is missing. So then it gotta be ADHD. It gotta be bipolar. It gotta be depression. It gotta be PTSD. It gotta be this. It gotta be that. It gotta be blah, 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 blah. You know, I used to believe that like everything was a form of PTSD because it kind of really is. But to make it more simpler and just keep it on the surface so everyone understands, it is the story that you're telling yourself. That is it. If you have a problem, if you say that you have a problem paying attention, guess what? You're going to have a problem paying attention. I believe in manifesting too. So it's only a decision. It's only a decision. And then you will start to see it manifest differently because you're not telling the same story anymore. The story is going to change. It's going to change. So if you tell yourself that you have a problem paying attention, and I only pay attention to, I don't know, let's say, for example, I only pay attention to things that are green, then this whole freaking video, you haven't been looking at me. You've been looking at the things behind me, right? And then when you say, no, I pay attention whenever someone is speaking, now you're paying attention to what I'm saying. You just did that right now. Do you see how fast the story changed? That just happened. It happens that fast. I mean, that's manifesting. That's my wheelhouse too, right? Spirituality. But it happens in the brain that quickly too. The story you keep telling yourself is the story you're gonna keep believing, the story you're gonna keep thinking, the story you're gonna keep seeing. That's it. That's it. So if you believe that you have to heal more in order to get your person, guess what? You're gonna have to heal more before you get your person. If you believe that you're an addict, guess what? You're an addict. If you believe that it's hard for you to pay attention, it's gonna be hard for you to pay attention. This is your life. This is your life. You get to make up your own fucking rules. And if I'm speaking to business owners and entrepreneurs, you have experience in that already. You got this far not by listening to everybody else. You got this far by making up your own fucking rules as you go. Let's just be fucking real. If you would have listened to everybody from before, you would not be where you are right now. That's the truth. And so, why are you choosing to listen to everybody else now? I mean, don't even fucking listen to me. You already know. You already know. You don't need for someone else to tell you what you already know and hear. And if you don't, I'm going to tell you right now, there's nothing wrong with you. The only thing that's wrong with you is that you think there's something wrong with you. And you've been the missing piece this whole time. You're probably judging yourself very harshly. You're probably judging other people very harshly. You're probably comparing yourself to other people. And you're believing that your creator, God, universe, Allah, whatever it is that you believe in, you believe that they make mistakes. And so you're one of them, which is bullshit. Straight up Mickey Mouse bourgeois. Me and my siblings, when we were younger, we watched the movie The Professional, but I don't know why we didn't have, like, where we were watching that on, like, TBS or something. It wasn't on HBO. And so they always, like, took out the bad words. And so instead of him saying, like, the bad word, he's like, what is all this Mickey Mouse bourgeois? It was hilarious. Anyway, that was a tangent. But You get to make up your own fucking rules. Like, even if you're not a business owner or an entrepreneur, you're watching this for some reason, right? Because you think I'm awesome and I'm amazing and I'm really fucking good at what I do, which you would be right. I am. But life is about you making up your own fucking rules. You get to choose what's true for you. You get to choose what's right for you. Let me give you a really quick example. Oh my gosh, I have like in the psychology field, I have thousands of them. I don't know, that would be for another video. I'd love to just talk about the stuff that I've heard, read about, or even experienced, but I'm gonna share an experience with you. I had a client that was schizophrenic, and they had really bad like panic attacks and just saw things that they felt were really scary, and he kept on trying to tell people that he was seeing things and they were scary to him, and it was hard for him to function. Sometimes people were around, like real people were around, and I do it in air quotes for a reason. I'm gonna get to that part. People were around, and he would just like get really scared and be like, no, 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 and you know, like they were like throwing him against the wall and stuff like that. And so when he came to me, he told me that he talked to other people, and he was telling them that he was able to see things, and they were giving him medication for it. Sometimes he runs out of his medication and he can see them again. And one of the things that he hated most about his situation wasn't that he had to take medication. It was only that people didn't believe him. And that's what made it worse. And I asked him if there was anything in the room with us at that moment. And so I'm a Latina, I'm also Native American, and so these things aren't like not normal. I mean, it's normal. I seen ghosts, I feel energy and stuff like that. So that's normal to me. It didn't sound ridiculous. And he was Native American. And so I was like, well, just because I can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And he was just like the camera just started moving on its own. See that? And I was just like, he was just like, you believe me? And I was just like, who am I to say that you're wrong? Maybe we are in different dimensions, but we're still able to communicate with each other. Things still look the same. So how would I know what is there and what's not? And he was just like this. He literally turned into like a different color. After that, he would just have the most amazing conversations with me. He got so much better so quickly. He got himself a job. He even started a side hustle as an artist. He found himself a place to stay and on his own, because he was used to like having like assisted living because he was mentally ill. He was living on his own, and he's just like living a different life because someone believed his story. And he allowed himself to be okay with his story. It wasn't just that I was believing it. I never said I believed him, but I never said that I didn't. And it was that he was owning his story. He was okay with his story. And he also changed the story, where it went from this thing that was dangerous and it was really bad to this thing that I see. And this doesn't define me. And I can still live a life. And these things are around me, but I can't do anything about them. What can I do? I'm gonna live my life. He started to change the way that he saw these things. He changed the story. With that, I'm gonna end here. If you're interested in working together, my information is down below. You're the missing piece. It's always been you. And just to point out a very quick highlight about that, he was making it that something was wrong with him. And he changed the story to there's nothing wrong. To who cares? To oh wow. And his life started to move in a completely different direction. We did talk a lot about manifesting too. I can't not talk about that. But if you're interested in working together, the information is down below. You're the missing piece. Talk to you later.